Yes, Casanovians. All right, boys, I'm going to do this live stream again. We got cut off prematurely, so going to recycle. Never mind. God's delay is not God's denial. Rejection is God's protection. Right, boys, I'm in London, just got here. Oh, fuck me. Well, I apologize if that was like destroyed your ears. Anyway, don't matter. Let's just roll with it. Somebody out there really does not want me to make this live stream. Like, this fucker ain't gonna get these words out today. Oh, it's the Matrix. Right. Anyway, I'm here in London for a week. So just come over from Stockholm. I've got Mr. Jazz who's joining me. So you boys, you probably know Jazz. We've done some live streams together. He's in London for the week, so I'm going to be taking him through his 4-day one-to-one immersion experience. So I'm going to be coaching him one-to-one here in London. We've got other Entourage guys who are linking up and joining us. It's just going to be a Casanovian calibrated chaos. And yeah, it's just cool. So yeah, I wanted to put this live stream together for anybody who is feeling stressed with cold approach, because I think this is actually an important topic. And I think it's easy to get into the discipline of day game, maybe attempt it, or maybe thinking about attempting it, and you're feeling stressed, right? It's so easy to watch a few videos, think about doing it, then when it actually gets time to you going out there, you're getting hit with all of these like kaleidoscope of excuses. You're rejecting yourself on the women's behalf, experiencing failure in advance, projecting your perceived lack of self-worth onto all of your approaches, and then your approaches don't go the way you want them to go, or maybe you don't even attempt it. Maybe the heart palpitations and the excuses are just too fierce, so you don't even attempt any approaching. You go home, you cry about it, and then nothing changes because nothing changes. So yeah, I think if you are somebody at the moment and you are actively putting yourself through the social fire, what I would love you to just start doing more of is celebrating your wins. Like, just celebrating, like, every time, like, even just going outside with the intention of doing an approach. It might be your first approach of your life. It might be your first approach of the day, your first approach of the week. I think that we need to give ourselves more credit for the odyssey that we're undertaking, right? It's like one of our Entourage members, Joseph, put it perfectly. He said, cold approach is not a solo sport, it's a team sport, and also it's an extreme sport. So I think that if you're watching these videos and you do have the intention of putting yourself out there, cold approaching, you've got to that point in your life where you're sick of dating apps, you don't want to be hanging around grotty nightclubs, you don't want to try and get women through your social circle. So you're like, right, I do want a cold approach, but the whole thing is starting to stress you out a little bit. Just give yourself credit for actually thinking about attempting it, right? Like, that's super important, because I think it's easy to just look at videos online and think, oh, why am I not at this level? Why are my approaches not that good? Why are my conversations so flat? Like, if you're watching my videos, for example, it's like, dude, I've been at this social game for the best part of 15 years now, right? That's why the guys who I work with get results fast. It's because they're getting like 15 years of social expertise condensed into a single weekend. You can't judge your first chapter by somebody else's 30th, right? We're all operating on our own timeline. But just the sheer fact you've got the intention of going out there, living a life beyond the beige and putting yourself through the social fire, doing what terrifies you, like, just give yourself a massive round of applause for that, because most NPCs, most civilians, they're completely asleep. They never even consider it. Like, they might watch a video and just think, oh, this is all fake. Oh, this would never work. Oh, this would never work for me. And then they just go, like, just jack themselves off to some weird porn. So, first of all, just celebrate the fact that you're actually thinking about attempting it. And then once you do put yourself out there, and once you do start approaching, just start celebrating your wins more and more. Like, if you went out today and just told a girl that she looked really nice, dude, celebrate that shit. Like, just be your own biggest cheerleader, rather than castrating yourself of your confidence by being like, oh, we're such a piece of shit, we didn't even get that girl to stop, we couldn't even carry a conversation, oh, we didn't get the clothes. Like, just celebrate every step of the journey, because that's what this is. It's a journey. And like Joseph said, this is a team sport as well, right? Like the days of being that solo player who's just parading around the pavements 8 hours a day, all on his own, with no feedback, no support system in place, those days are well and truly over. And I think this is why guys get so stressed about this whole endeavor. It's because they don't have anybody to actually talk to about this stuff, right? They don't have people in their lives who get it, right? Like, if I spoke to the people who I went to school with about cold approach, even about just self-improvement in general, right? They kind of try and shame you for it. It's like, oh, dude, you're going out there, you're talking to girls. That's weird. You don't want to be a pickup artist. I agree with that, by the way. Like, none of us here should be aspiring to be pickup artists. Like, for me, pickup artists are guys who have to fake their value in order to trick women into liking them. Like, that is loser mentality. For me, the way you win with this game is actually very simple. Rather than faking having value, you build your value, right? You become the most fuckable version of yourself. You explode your fitness, your fashion, your finances. Yes, we've all got a genetic baseline that we're working with, but the way that you win at the game of life isn't by complaining about the cards you've been dealt, but playing your hand to the best of your ability. Yeah, for those of you who know my story, 4 years ago, I was a complete loser. I could have made all of the excuses under the sun why I couldn't be successful, not just with cold approach, but life in general. I was a porn addict. I had erectile dysfunction. I looked like a turnip. I dressed like a moron. I had £24.82 a universal credit in my bank. I was working a dead-end job for minimum wage. It was the pandemic, so all I knew when I started cold approach was face masks and social distancing. People were like, oh, you shouldn't be going out there. We have to wait for this whole thing to be over. I always think, like, where are those people now? You know, the people who are like, yeah, when all this blows over, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to start approaching. They're probably not approaching. They're probably just finding some other self-limiting excuse as to why they can't take action on their visions. But point being, we do all start somewhere, and we all start off as beginners, and we all start off as shit, and it's fine. But I think that just being able to embrace the suck, enjoy the journey, and celebrate every step along the way, that's really important. But something else that I find, this is more for guys who've overcome that initial resistance to approach, right? So if you're one of these guys, you know you can approach now, right? Maybe you've done it 10 times, right? Maybe you've cold approached 10 girls. Maybe they went shit, maybe they went good, I don't know, but you know you can do it, right? You then can encounter another problem, because now you know you can cold approach. You feel as though you need to be doing it all of the time. So every time you see a moderately attractive woman, it starts to fill you with stress. Rather than feeling pleasure about seeing a beautiful woman, it actually inflicts pain, because you think to yourself, oh, I can do this approaching thing now. So I have to approach every single woman, no excuses, otherwise I'm a pussy. And unfortunately, this is the dogma that gets spurted online from supposed coaches or gurus in the cold approach space. Like, you'll always hear the same old shit, like, take action, no matter what, no excuses, approach everything that you see, no excuses, don't be a pussy. Like, all this garbage from people who don't even practice what they preach. I'll be completely transparent with you. I let opportunities slide. I let opportunities slide all the time. I don't put pressure on myself to approach every single woman that I see. And that's why I don't say that you should do that either, right? We're all going to let opportunities slide. We're all going to have those moments where we come out of the gym, we stink like absolute shit. Maybe we're just not in a conducive headspace for whatever reason, and then we see that gob-smackingly gorgeous gazelle strut past us, and then we don't do it. Dude, whenever I'm in that position now, I just laugh my way through it, right? Rather than being a crushingly cruel commentator, I'm just like, oh, Kristian, dude, we let that one go. That's okay. Just returning to that place of self-love. Like, not ruminating in my own egoic self-absorption, not thinking, oh, shit, I should have done that. I'm such a loser. Oh, like, now, like, I'm going to lose all of my momentum. Like, all this bollocks. I do think that as long as you're taking advantage of at least 80% of the opportunities that are presented to you, and you are capitalizing on the approaches like that you really like, yeah? So it's like, if you do see the woman of your dreams and you're not in the mood, I do think you should put yourself into that one because you'll most likely regret it. But it's like those like 50-50 approaches. You know the ones that I mean, where you see a girl and you're kind of like, she's okay, she's all right. And then you're kind of stuck in that selection paralysis. Should I, shouldn't I? And then if you let it go, it's easy to just be thinking about it. Oh, I should have done that one. I should have put myself in there. It's like, dude, just let it go. You know, focus on the ones that you actually like. I think at the start, like if you've never done this before, I think you don't want to be too picky, right? So my advice to beginners is just get 100 direct cold approaches done ASAP. They're not going to be your future wife. They're probably not going to be the women of your dreams, but it's purely just to get points on the board. Just going out to make people smile, going out to make women feel beautiful. Obviously, you don't want to approach women who you are genuinely not attracted to, but there are going to be opportunities that you let slide, especially in your beginner days, because you don't know what you don't know. But I think when you are first starting, it's important to give yourself a specific number of approaches within a specific time frame. So let's just say, for example, if you've never done this before, just set the intention one day this week to do one direct cold approach in 15 minutes. All right. So let's say you live in London, set the intention, go to central London and just find one woman to give a compliment to. The time limit is more important than the number of approaches because you don't just want to say, right, I'm going to do one direct cold approach today in central London without a time limit, because what will usually happen is you end up walking around for about 2 hours thinking about doing it, speaking to nobody, and your state gets more and more depleted. So give yourself a time limit. Honor the time limit more than the number of approaches. So if you get to the end of the 15 minutes and you have seen potential women to approach and you haven't done them, forget about it. Like, get on with the rest of your day and hit it again another time. Like, I'm all about efficiency in this game. Yeah, so 15 minutes to do one direct cold approach. If the 15 minutes gets to an end and you still haven't done it, forget about it. Maybe schedule it for later in the day, depending on what your schedule's saying, or just hit it again another day. Like 15 minutes to do one direct cold approach, that's solid. If you've already got a little bit of skin in the game, but you want to make this whole approaching thing more efficient, then just give yourself 1 hour to do between 5 and 7 direct cold approaches. It depends on how long your conversations actually go on for, but as like a ballpark figure, give yourself 1 hour to approach between 5 and 7 women. And within that hour, this is really important. If you let 3 opportunities slide, let's say you see a woman and you like her and you don't approach her, if this happens 3 times during your session, then call it a day. It's like if you're playing a video game, give yourself 3 lives. If you let 3 opportunities go and you know you should have gone in for those ones because those were women that you really like, if that happens to you 3 times, it's like 3 strikes and you're out. Because I would say after bailing on the approaches 3 times, especially if they're successive as well, it's unlikely that you're actually going to do anything that day. So give yourself an hour to do between 5 and 7 direct cold approaches. And then if you let 3 of them like fly by for whatever reason, just call it a day, do something else, schedule another hour session, because all that's going to happen is you're just going to get more and more stuck in your head. The stress is going to start to rise, and then you're probably going to talk yourself out of doing it ever again. So again, celebrate what you're able to do. Even if, like, for you, like going out into central London on a busy Saturday, like that might be a big deal for you, right? So just celebrate the fact that you're actually there. And then if you manage to do one direct cold approach in 15 minutes, that's amazing as well. Like celebrate that win. Again, it's important to have a team around you. It's important to have your brothers who are there for support. This is the reason why guys leave comments on YouTube videos where they'll be like, hey, Kristian, watch your videos, went out into my city, did my first approach, thanks, bro. It's because we crave community, right? I think we're tribal beings, and it's great to be able to share our wins with other people. It's like, if other people don't know about it, did it really happen? And I think it also helps to normalize this entire process as well. Like if you don't have people in your life at the moment who you can talk to about this stuff, then you're almost operating like a closet heterosexual where you feel shame about this whole discipline of actually wanting to live a thriving dating life, wanting to improve yourself, wanting to unlock this decentralized skill set of the awake 1%. That's why I put my community together, the Entourage. It's to bring guys together and create this this echo chamber of empathy and encouragement. So when our guys go out in whatever city that they're in, they post messages into our private WhatsApp group like, lads, I'm out today. Maybe they send a video message like, lads, I'm out today, about to start my cold approach session. Wish me luck. I'll update as I go. It's like having wingmen in your pocket. And that just gives you, I think, the permission to keep going with it. Because with this process, just like anything, like with business or fitness or relationships, there's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be ebbs and flows, but a smooth sea never made a skilled sailor. Remember, throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. So don't allow yourself to get too stressed out by this whole thing. I think the final thing is do your best to actually enjoy this, right? Like in 20 years time, you would give anything to be back in this moment. Like you'd give anything to be back in, let's say, central London and feel stressed about doing your first direct cold approach. I think making this something we are rather than something that we do by just making a habit out of talking to everybody, right? Not taking this whole thing too seriously. Like if you go out today and you aim to do one direct cold approach, you give yourself 15 minutes and you end up not even approaching anybody, still celebrate the fact you did go out there with intention, right? And once you have started to unlock this skill, don't think that you need to be this approaching machine where every time you go out, you have to approach 100 women, no excuses, otherwise you're somehow a failure. And I think that having a time frame is just like going to the gym. Rather than just going to the gym to see what happens, having a structure in place with cold approach is useful because it's like you go hard and then you go home. So like once that hour is finished, I do recommend that once that hour is finished, you just switch off from approaching altogether. Like focus on something else. Let's say you got into central London, you finished your hour, maybe you intended to do 7 direct cold approaches, and let's say you did 3 in an hour. Dude, you still did 3, so well done, right? Is there a reason why you didn't do any more? How can we improve our number of approaches for the next time? But you still did 3, so that's fucking amazing, so well done. But then, like, you don't want to get stuck in that approaching limbo where maybe then you walk to the gym and you see a couple of girls who you could approach, but you're like, I'm not really fit. Like, forget about it. Like, go hard and then go home. Having that cut off point for the session, I think is useful because then, I feel like you can just start to see it more as like a discipline, right? Rather than like, I need to approach every single girl that I see. It's like, no, my hour's done now. Obviously, dude, if it's like the woman of your dreams who walks past you and it's like 3 minutes after your session ends, and obviously, like put yourself in there if you feel as though you can handle it. But do you get what I'm saying here? I think to reduce the amount of stress, I don't want you boys to keep perceiving women as like painful or like stress inducing. It's like, oh no, there's a moderately attractive woman, I need to approach, I need to be entertaining, I need to be funny and charming and witty, I need to do all this like assumption stacking. Like, I think the whole thing just gets a little bit too much. So set yourself a number of approaches within a specific time frame. Remember to celebrate every single win along the way. Watch these videos every single day as a source of optimism and motivation. Go back to the earliest videos on my channel so you can actually see where I started, because I think that's the greatest currency in the world today. It's hope, yeah, because a man without hope is dead. I started from the absolute mud 4 years ago, never done a direct call approach in my life. No idea what I was doing. I was getting comments on the regular from guys telling me how ugly I was, how physically disadvantaged I was. Oh, bro, why are you approaching during the pandemic? Oh, bro, why are you wasting these women's time? Like, oh, whatever. Where are those people now? Fuck no, it's probably still in the same cum-stained mattress in the grandma's basement. But use these live streams as motivation. Like, I know embarking on this odyssey can feel stressful. It can feel painful. You'll doubt yourself. You'll think, is it working? You'll think, am I good enough? Like, I've been through those long, hard nights of the soul, but I've come out the other end. And I think as long as you can enjoy this process, be persistent and have optimism in the absence of certainty, then you will get to where you want to get to. I'm a living, breathing example of what happens when you take a shitload of radical action and you don't allow your mind or other just nonsense moronic commentators online sway you. There is a lot of bullshit in this industry. There's a lot of charlatans who have no idea what they're talking about, just want to try and make a little bit of quick money by selling you some like bullshit $997 course or try to funnel you into some low ticket school community. So yeah, just be aware of those people online. Hopefully your bullshit detector is good. And yeah, boys, I'll speak with you tomorrow in London for the week. Looking forward to linking up with Jazz, the rest of our Entourage guys. Big shout out as well to everybody who was in Stockholm with me. The Entourage well and truly took over Stockholm. I've got some podcasts scheduled with one of the guys who I was in Stockholm with. So yeah, a lot of really great content on its way to you. So make sure you subscribe, like the live stream. If you like it, you don't have to. And yeah, I'll speak with you boys tomorrow. All right, boys, love yous. Bye.